Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day. It's Patrick from Easy Node. I am here today to talk to you about being a Harmony ONE Validator and our new Harmony Validator Toolbox, which is a Harmony software installer and a management menu to help you manage your node all in one. We have a completely new Git book to go along with all of this, which kind of cuts out a lot of the things in the official documents that are some of the hangups when creating a node, and it will get you kind of turboed past that as overall, you really don't need to know all those things. And if the installer was packaged from Harmony, it would be a lot different to get one up and running and a lot easier. But since that's not how it is at the moment, we decided to write up a Python program that'll go out and grab everything you need and put it in the right places for you. And after the installer runs, all you need to do is simply create or drop in BLS keys. During the setup, it'll ask you to recover a wallet if you have one. If you don't, you just press Control C and it'll move on, and you can set up a wallet after the installer. You can also cancel any shard that's downloading while it's running by hitting Control C, but we'll show you how that works when we get into a demo of the software here. All right, let's jump over to EasyNode.1. Here's our website, and right on the front page, you'll be able to find our validator guides right here at the top, and the EasyNode Validator Toolbox guide is this one right here. And if you haven't seen our site, you can come here and dump in your validator wallet address, do check wallet, and it'll pull live API data and show you some stats about everything that's going on. The current epoch uptime, the latest returns, we calculated out. The last, it gives us 30 epochs on the blockchain, so that's there. And then 7, if you have the 7, they will show up there as well. So it'll also show up your commission, how many delegators, and how much you delegated. So that's that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our Validator Toolbox guide. So here's the main page of it. It shows you the 2 tools that are included inside of it. It shows you our loading screen, and then it'll give you our support contact suggestions info. Jump over to the quick install. Now, new validators, this guide probably won't work out so well for you. There's many nuances you need to understand about being a validator, and we have this guide here, which will take you through all those things. You just want to read through all of them before you get started. There's some things you can definitely get done before you go ahead and jump in and rent some servers and start setting stuff up that you want to get done ahead of time, and some other things to think about that you have to decide ahead of time, because when you're setting up a new validator, some of the stuff can't be changed after the initial push of your info. So you really want to get it all lined up before you put it out there. For anybody else, here's the server prep section. You just need Ubuntu 2004 LTS. If you're using DigitalOcean, we link to some user data you'll want to use while you set it up. That just turbos all the setup stuff, and you're good to go. Anybody else, all you really need to do is set up a user account that has sudoless root access for our installer. If you forget to set up the sudoless root access, the only thing you'll run into is when it tries to do rclone, it'll stop in the middle of our software and ask for your password, which will kind of be buried in the screen. So if you see it stall out at any point, somewhere in the text it's asking you for your password, and you want to type that in, it'll continue on. No big deal. You can take the sudoless root access off after the installer runs if you want it secured that way. Volume support using DigitalOcean, auto mount your volume. We'll find it, we'll use it. Anybody else, all you need to do is make a folder in /mnt and mount your volume to that folder. We look in /mnt. If there's one mount, we'll use it and install your software right there. Pretty soon we'll have support that if you have multiple disks in /mnt, we'll pull up a menu and show you how much space is on each of them, and you can choose which volume you'd like to store your files in, and we'll go ahead and rclone the databases there and symlink that folder back to your home directory. If you don't know what that means, no big deal. We'll tell you more about that later. But basically, the way we operate our installer is, if you have a volume, stuff goes in /mnt/ that folder /harmony. From there, we link that to your home drive, so your user account /harmony folder will be where all of your Harmony stuff is stored, and that way we don't have to modify anything with the service files or system or change the way anybody thinks about their node, because it's all in the same spot if you already used a Harmony folder. And on the flip side, if you don't have a volume, it will just install it into home user Harmony, and that's where all the Harmony software lives. So getting on to actual installation, Once you're in your server, you just cd to your home directory, you clone the repository down to your drive, you cd into the validator toolbox. If you're on DigitalOcean, you don't need to do this one. This is in the user data, but for anybody else, prep your system by running those items, get those installed. From there, you have to pip install the requirements on our repository. This just installs the modules we need for our Python app to install everything. And after that, this is how you run the Toolbox app, Python 3, Validator Toolbox, Toolbox Start. So this first time it launches the installer menu, which is going to ask you some questions. If you run it again, it just launches the management menu. It's not a separate application or anything, all in one package. So on your first launch, you'll see our loading screen, and then you'll get asked if you'd like to start the installer application, and option 0 here is the one you choose for a brand new node where you need to put the Harmony software onto it. Option 1 is for anybody who's putting this onto an existing node and wants to just utilize the management menu. Select option 1 there. From there, we can jump down to the setup menus here to see how those work. So there's a loading screen. Here's the start installer or start the validator toolbox. After that, it's going to ask you which shard you're operating this node on, so we know which databases you want to use or which shards you're on for operations. It's going to ask you the node type, if it's a regular signing, standard signing node. This is a regular Harmony validator node. As most of us know it, you're a validator, you want option 0 here. The other option is a full non-validating dev or RPC node, which works similar to a validator node. This one, it's going to download whichever shard you pick, and from there, when it's done, all you do is create a BLS key and start it up. There's no wallet. You don't use a wallet with that. It's a different type of node. So if you don't know what it's for, no big deal. You definitely want the standard signing node if you're a regular validator. It'll ask you if you want to run on mainnet or testnet after that. Your choice. We support both. It'll ask you if you want to do an express install or a manual install. The only difference is manual install asks you yes or no on every single option. Express assumes you want to do them all. If you say no along the way, it's up to you to manually do those on your own. While it runs, if you choose a regular node, you're going to get these two sections for your password file, as you have to store your password so our app can use it, and so AutoBidder could use it if you put that on your node eventually. But AutoBidder stores it in harmony passphrase.txt, so we're going to do the same. This just takes your password and passes it through that file, and then we reference that file down the road when we need to use it while collecting your rewards. That's all we're using it for right now. Maybe someday we'll be able to do BLS key info. That'll be down the road. After that, you just recover the wallet too if you're using a regular signing validator, so you can do your mnemonic phrase here. If you don't have a wallet yet, just hit Control-C. It'll skip through and you can create a wallet after or add your own wallet after. Either way. From there, it goes on to cloning the shards, and that works the same way. It'll just download and go. If you don't want a shard or you don't want the whole thing to download for whatever reason, up to you. Just hit Control-C, and it'll just continue on to the next step of the application. After Shards clone, that's it. It's installed and is ready to go. So let's see, from there, the post install, all you need to do is create BLS keys or move on your current BLS key and paths files, if this is a second node, and put them in the right folder. We go over that, and our menu tells you how to do that when it gets done as well, and then reboot your server. That's about it. So jump back here. I think that's about it. Yep. All right, so from there, let's jump into looking at creating a droplet on DigitalOcean. So this is the DigitalOcean method, but it can easily be applied to most other providers. So we're going to go ahead and set up a CPU optimized 4 CPU system. We're going to add a volume that is 250 gigabytes in size. Going to automatically format and mount. exe4 is fine. We're going to drop this in San Francisco number 3. And down here is where I was talking about using user data. So you check that and this giant box opens. So over here again, let's go to the user data section for DigitalOcean. We're going to copy this config and paste this into our user data here. All right, I got my user data pasted in there. And For our SSH keys, we're going to put all of ours in there for our root account. It's up to you. We actually don't ever use our root account, so we can make it a random password and forget about it if we wanted to. This is just going to be a tester, so tester delete me. We use a tag here. The tag just applies R1 firewall automatically. We'll have another video on advanced DigitalOcean setup someday if you want to learn how to do that. But basically, you can put a tag on a firewall, and then when you create a validator or whatever type of server you'd like that you want to use that tag on, bam, all the firewall rules get applied. So let's go ahead and create the droplet, and we'll pause here for a second. All right, we got our server loaded up and our IP address here. Let's go ahead and SSH into our node. Bam, we're in. Let's go back to the quick install guide and let's run through the install commands. So the first one is to pull the repo. Alright, we got our repo downloaded. Next one here, if you go a little too fast and you get your node up quick here, this one takes some time because if you're using the user data on DigitalOcean, it's going to do all these installs and it kind of locks that up while it's doing it. So if you get an error when you run this one, it's because it's still locked and installing those. So you'll see since we're on DigitalOcean, all those are already installed, and run our pip requirements there to install the stuff for the toolbox. And we're totally ready to go. So just to show you the disk here, we do have a volume out there at dev SDA right here. And it's going to install everything on there. So right now in our home folder, you'll see we just have our validator toolbox so far. So let's go ahead and run the command to start our installer. All right, make it a little bigger here. There we go. All right, so as I had said earlier, there's two options here. Start the installer app. This is a brand new server. That's the one we're going to choose. And like I said, option number one here is if you have an existing server, that's the option you want to choose to just load the toolbox menu and run that. You don't want to rerun the installer. You don't have to do that. Nope, you can just run that. So let's go with the start the installer. All right, I'm currently running on Shard 0, but what I'm going to do for a tester here is let's throw it on Shard 1. Okay, so this is a selection of a standard signing node, which is what a regular validator node is known to most validators. That's definitely the one we're going to select here. The full node non-validating option is for people who want to run an RPC or dev stuff and just want the basic stuff set up. And with that, you just generate one BLS key and put it in the folder and start the server afterwards, and it runs without a validator wallet. So that's what option one is there. For regular validators, though, standard signing node, here we go. We want to run on mainnet or testnet. We're going for the mainnet. And express installer manual, as I said, manual just annoyingly asks you if you want to do everything along the way. If you don't say yes to everything, you'll have to do it manually to get it working on your own. So let's go with the express install. So here it's installing all the Harmony software. Just set up our rclone stuff, and all the Harmony is totally installed already. So we're going to set up a password to secure our wallet here. Remember, wallets are local to your node only, so this is just what we want it to be on this node. So this is for the wallet. So our password's in, and now it's going to have us recover our mnemonic phrases. So I'm going to do that off screen, and we'll come back when we get onto the next screen here. All right, our mnemonic restore went well, and it moved right on to cloning Shard 1. So we're going to let this run. We'll be right back in a moment when this is completed. All right, Shard 1 has finished up, and now it'll start cloning Shard 0. Kick back and relax for a while. We'll return when this one's done and ready to go. All right, we're actually going to kick it back early here to show you a feature of this that we were talking about earlier. And that's at any point you hit Control-C and skip on to the next step. So we're going to do that here because we don't need all of Shard 0 downloaded. And you'll see this is the completion screen here, which will tell you what remains when you're done with installing here. Only things left are to either recover your wallet again or create one if you need to do that. And create some BLS keys and put those into the right spot. Now, for me, if I'm just going to transfer on some BLS keys here. Let me do that in the background, and then we'll be right back. We'll give this a reboot and get back in and see if it starts syncing here. All right, we are back in, and our keys are transferred in here. So I'll show you those. They are in Harmony .hm1 BLS keys. Okay, we got some keys. So we're going to do a sudo reboot. Give this a moment here while it takes its time to reboot. A little intermission. Talk about what's going on. What's going on in Harmony? Let me know out there. Post something in the comments. This is the first YouTube video I made with my face on it like this, so I don't even know what to say. Like and subscribe or whatever stuff. Let's see if we're back in. The cloud reboot's pretty fast. All right, we're back in. So now, just to show you what's in the home directory again here, you'll see we have Harmony. Harmony there is symlinked to our folder, as I said. The mount point is a folder inside of MNT. Bam, already there. That way we don't have to modify our systemd file at all here. System Harmony service. There's our service file. Going all those places. Our user in there. And so, as I said, once you get back in, you can actually just run the same command you used to install here. All right, the menu's up. So when it comes up, you'll get your basic validator info, the wallet address, host name, IP. If it's online, your current signing percentage, your database usage, or your disk size, how much is free, what epoch number we're on, and then there's a bunch of options down on the menu. So let's run through those. Number one is to check your stats. And if you're not familiar how this works, up top here is the stats of the blockchain, and these two numbers correspond with the shards. So shard 0 is up top. Shard 0 is at, we're on epoch 0 on it because we didn't download shard 0 on this node just to get it running. Show you the example here. Shard 1 on this node is at 702. The block number on 0 is 0, but on shard 1 it's ready to go, already synced up here. So the bottom is the current status of the blockchain. So shard 0 is on 702, shard 1's on 702, shard 0 is block, shard 1's block. So you can see we are in sync here on shard 1. And then on the stats page you get your uptime, and this is your CPU load average. You want to keep an eye on that if you're running with less CPUs to make sure that you're not overstressing the system and missing blocks. So if you have a lot of missed signings and everything's running, it might just be because simply you don't have enough CPU power. Then you get your database sizes down here, total sizes of both database. And the last line is your Harmony version, currently at version 4.2.1 as of today. So let's go on to option 2, which is show active BLS keys. There's those. Option 3 is show your balance, and we show you mainnet and testnet. And we ask you if you'd like to see another Harmony wallet address, so you say no there. Let's see. Number 4 would be collect pending rewards. So I'll ask you for mainnet, do you want to collect? Testnet, do you want to collect? We'll say sure on testnet and grab them. Just to give you an example of what a pass looks like here. There it is. All right. So from there, you kind of get into the danger zone, as I call it, in the management options. So you can stop your service completely. You can restart the service. It'll warn you you're going to miss blocks when you restart. So we'll say, yeah, it just restarted. That's how fast it is. It's ready to go. You can update your Harmony binary file here. We'll say, yep, let's update it. So this pulls down the HMY file, or the Harmony file, and updates the conf. And then it waits 10 seconds and it'll run stats to show you that everything's working. There they are. I hit enter. Whoops, we went right through. But that updates the Harmony file. And then if you want to update the CLI file, the HMY, you can run this and that'll pull that and update that. You won't miss blocks on that one because it doesn't use it for signing. You can also run operating system updates, and we'll say sure to that and show you how that goes. We just did these when I fired up though, so there shouldn't be much right now. And then the next ones are all just info commands. So 13 will give you some system disk info stuff. It'll show you, your total free use, all that stuff right now. I'm going to try to find a better way of incorporating this into the main stats menu, but this is here if you need it. And then options 14 and 15 are kind of information overload, but this is your whole file on your validator if you want it dumped out. You can scroll through and read anything about yourself in there if you'd like. The next one is option 15, which is too much info about your server. So this pulls up all the hardware info on your server. Scroll up, see whatever you'd like. There's a lot of good stuff. So full report on everything now, and it'll tell you all about it. So, and that pretty much is it. You can also do 999 to do the full reboot. Are you sure? Yep, let's go for it. Now it's rebooting, and that'll end this session. So that's it. That's how the installer in the menu works. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, or hit our Discord community. That's where we're centralizing our focus for support and community, so everybody can be harmonious in one place. And we're probably going to end up routing our Telegram channels that way soon and have Discord as our only point of support, other than we'll be in the main chats on Telegram if anybody needs help there. Alright, one final thing we wanted to talk about before we're done with this video is cleaning up a node. When you go to destroy a server on DigitalOcean, and if you're using a volume, one thing we want to make sure of is that you also destroy the associated volume. So when you go to destroy your droplet, make sure you click Show Associated Resources. Make sure you click, I'm going to click Destroy All to do it to choose it, but you want to do that because you want to make sure you destroy the volume to save money on your bill, because if you don't get rid of the volume, you still get charged for it. So go ahead, and once you hit send, you'll get this screen where you'll have to confirm it by typing in the name of your droplet, hit destroy, and you will be saving some money. So thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Patrick from EasyNode. You can support us by staking with our validator or by going to our GitHub supporters page, which will be linked below in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.